sorry that there hasn't been a video in a couple of days. I went away. I thought I'd planned everything, that I'd scheduled everything, and then all I would need was my phone, and then I could just make the video public from my phone and it was all good. But then I had so many issues with YouTube, which was just annoying, to the point where it was more than I could fixed with just my phone, and I didn't have my computer, I didn't have a laptop, I didn't have any access to any other way to fix it, so I just couldn't upload, which was fab. But anyway, today, even though I've already filmed this video and was supposed to be uploaded a couple of days ago but had to refilm it because it's whatever, I want to talk about some upcoming LGBTQ+ books which I am really excited for. Okay, so the first two are already out because I so love being so disorganized. So the first one is Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi, and this book is just my fan fiction enemies to lovers trope come to life in actual book form. This book focuses on Rachel and Sana, who have a history because Sana asked out Rachel a couple of years back, and she was the first girl that she asked out. Rachel just assumed that it was a joke, and they have been enemies ever since. Rachel is an aspiring film director, and for her senior year is making a project, and Sana is the perfect lead role, so it is that story and it's enemies to lovers, and I bloody love it. Like, I'm so excited for that. Like, you know, sometimes you just gotta indulge, you just gotta do it. Literally, like, I live for it. I live for it. The author actually sold this book as well as a love letter to Rory and Paris from Gilmore Girls, which is also something which I'm so excited about. I love Gilmore Girls, I love their whole dynamic, and to see that transform into a relationship is something that I'm here for. So I'm super excited for that and cannot wait to pick that one up. Like I said, that is already out, so it's one I'm going to be getting very soon, but I still wanted to include it because when I initially made this list it was on it. The second one, which is the same as that, is already out but was always going to be on this list, is An Impossible Distance to Fall by Miriam McNamara. This book is set in the 1930s during the Great Depression, and Birdie's dad's bank has crashed and now he has gone missing. She takes a trip to Coney Island to try and find him, but there instead she finds a circus and is very enchanted by a pilot called June, and it is everything unfolding from there, and kind of her life meeting new people, trying to find her father and trying to figure out everything that has happened. This is something I'm really interested in reading. It sounds really good. Coney Island, one of my favourite places. The whole circus situation I'm excited about because it seems like the kind of circus with extra additional themes, like another story around it as well, which I'm really looking forward to. And also the 1930s to 1950s has been very interesting kind of time period for me recently. Pre-war, post-war, middle of the war. I've been quizzing my nan because she was alive during the entire Second World War, and she's been really great and like telling me all these things that she can remember, and she's telling me about how they used to go dancing and all of that, and she's been telling me lots of different things, like the things that she enjoyed and then also what she can remember from the bad side, and it's been really interesting to get a perspective from someone that's been there and lived through it. So I'm excited about this book because obviously this is pre-war and I'm interested to delve into that story. The next one is Brave Face by Sean David Hutchison. This book is actually a memoir and it focuses on his life, dealing with being depressed, being gay, and just everything that he's been dealing with so far in his life. For those that don't know, Sean David Hutchison wrote the book called We Are the Ants, which is a book that I read back in 2017, I think, and I really liked it. It's a really interesting story, really interesting way that he writes, and I've read a couple of other books of his since and have really enjoyed them, so I'm really intrigued to read his memoir too. Then we have Shatter the Sky by Rebecca Kim Wells, and this book focuses on Marin, who just wanted to live a quiet life with her girlfriend Kaya. Then Kaya is kidnapped by some of the agents of the Empire, and Marin decides she can go in, steal one of the Empire's dragons and kind of attack and get her back. However, in order to do this, she has to train as a dragon trainer's apprentice in order to kind of pull off this plan that she's got in her head, but she learns so much more from that, and lots of other things sort of start to come to light, and she's learning about lots of different things while she does this and starts to realise that maybe this whole situation is a lot bigger than she initially thought. I do not read enough fantasy LGBTQ+ books, mainly because they're never advertised as being LGBTQ+, so I never know that they are. Like, usually it's when I'm reading ones and then it comes up and I'm like, oh, okay, good. This is what I'm really, really looking forward to. I love that it's kind of from the get-go, like she has a girlfriend, this is it. It's not something which is like kind of glossed over in the sense of the rest of the story as well. Like it is a part of her. So yeah, so I'm really, really looking forward to reading this one as well. I think it's gonna be really, really cool. I actually haven't read many fantasy books this year other than all of the Percy Jackson books, but like, you know what I mean, like high fantasy, completely different world books. So I'm excited for it. Then we have Tarnished Are the Stars by Rosie Thor. This book focuses on Anna Thatcher, who illegally has a clockwork heart in her chest and is currently going under the name The Technician to provide medical technology to people that are in need, but she's doing this illegally because it is against the Commissioner's law. Then we have Nathan, who is the Commissioner's son and has never had to worry about law in his entire life, and then he is sent to go and find the technician and bring her back so that she can pay for the crimes that she's committed. He then meets her and starts to realise that maybe the laws that his father has are not the best, and kind of starts to see things from a different viewpoint. Then we have Eliza, who also arrives, and she's a skilled assassin and spy, and her job is to learn as much about the Commissioner as possible. This book is in the perspective of these three people and everything that unfolds from there and their stories and how their stories intertwine. This book apparently has lesbian and asexual representation, and I've heard that it's an own voices novel as well. I was reading on Goodreads about it, and it says for fans of Marissa Meyer, people would love it, so I'm really, really looking forward to it because her books are some of my absolute favourites. So I can't wait. So those books are books that are coming out in 2019. I have two that are on this list because I did think they were coming out in 2019, but they're not. The first one comes out in February 2020, which is not too far away, so I'm going to include it. And the other one still doesn't really have a proper release date, but I'm going to include it anyway because I'm really excited about it. The one which comes out February 4th, 2020 is The Madness Blooms by Mackenzie Lee. All we know so far is this book focuses on a flower girl who is falling in love with her mistress, but she has to decide whether or not she wants to betray the girl she's in love with's father to try and trick him to get this flower to then save her own brother. I think it's set in the 1600s, another historical one from her. I'm expecting the humour, the serious moments, the amazing moments, and just everything that comes from a Mackenzie Lee book, and I'm so obsessed with the way she tells stories. I've said so many times the Gentleman's Guide, Lady's Guide books are some of my all-time favourites, so I'm so excited to read something else from her and to see how this story unfolds as well. And then finally we have Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. You may have heard me talking about Melinda Lowe earlier on in the month when I mentioned Ash, which is another book of hers, but I'm so excited about this. This is set in the 1950s in San Francisco and explores LGBTQ+ communities and the American and Chinese communities and how all of those are intertwined, how all of those kind of were in the 50s and different perceptions and how they link and all of that all together. So I'm really, really excited for this one. Another historical one, it's set in the 50s, and I don't really read many books set in the 50s, so that's going to be really interesting, and I'm just super, super excited to explore this book as well, and I cannot wait for it to come out. So those are some upcoming LGBTQ+ books which I am really looking forward to that come out either over the next 6 months. Can you believe we're 6 months through the year? We're like smack bang in the middle. It's ridiculous. Or at the start of next year as well, and I'm super excited for all of them. I'd love to know any LGBTQ+ books that you're excited for. If there are any that you want to talk about, please leave them in the comments below, and then we can all have a big discussion, and we can see lots of other recommendations as well. If you're new here, then I make videos a couple of times a week about books and fandom-y things, so if you want to stick around and join us, then you can do that. And as usual, all the links to all my other social media is in the description if you want to come hang out with me on there. Thank you guys for watching. I hope we're doing really, 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 really well, and I will see you next time. Bye!